Garner.
Good morning, Mrs. Gardner.
I'm so glad to be here with you today. We're going to do some math. If you like math, can you give me a thumbs up right here? Right here. Awesome. For me, I like it this much. I love math. And so Mrs. Hales has told me that I can come in and work with you today and do something that we call a number talk. We're going to talk about math today. Does that sound exciting?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's the tricky part. When I first show you the math problem, I'm going to ask you not to talk right away. I'm going to ask you just to think. Nod your head if you think you can do that. Okay? And then, when you feel like you have an answer, actually before that, while you're thinking about the math problem, you're going to put your fist right here. Can you show me what that looks like? This tells me I'm thinking. And we're doing it silently, so everyone has silent thinking time. And then when you have an answer, guess what you're going to do? Thumbs up, exactly. Then, when you have an answer, you're not done yet, because there are several ways to solve the same problem. So when you think you have another way to solve it, you show me another finger. Do you think you're done yet?
No.
Nope. Then you need to look for a third strategy, a fourth. You keep going until it's time for us to talk about it. Does that make sense? So show me, I'm thinking about it. I have an answer. I have more than one strategy, more than two. And you're probably going to have the same answer every time, but you have different ways to get your answer. All right, show me a thumbs up if you understand. All right. So when I put this up, remember, no talking, just thinking. I'm going to show you a dot image, which just means a bunch of dots. And I want you to look at it, and I want you to think about two questions. The first question is, how many do you see? What's the first question?
How many do you see?
And the second question is, how do you see them?
How do you see them?
So how many do you see? How do you see them? So as you're figuring out how many do you see, you're going to put your fist right here because I'm thinking about it, but I'm not going to talk. And then when you know how many, you can give me your thumb. And then you have to think about, how did I see them? And then after you saw them in one way, try to see them in another way, try to see them in another way, try to see them in another way. All right, nod your head if you're ready. Okay, here it comes. Okay, so show me your thinking. Show me your thinking. When you have your answer, how many do you see? Give me a thumb. When you know how many you see, and then think about how did you see them? Again, your thumb is up if you have an answer. Have an answer. How many do you see? And how do you see them? Okay. Here's what I'd like to do. You can put your hands down now for me. Awesome. Here's what I'd like. When we do a number talk, the first thing we do is we get the answer out of the way. So what I'm going to ask is a volunteer who could share their answer. And before I do that, I want to tell you that every answer that you tell me, I'm going to write up here. And then we're going to decide together which one we think is the correct answer. So whatever your answer was, I'd like you to share it, even if it's different from somebody else's. What is your answer?
17.
17. I have a new hand signal for you. If that was your answer as well, you're going to say, me too. If you saw 17, so you do this, me too.
Me too.
And we do it quietly. You got it. All right. Is there another answer we want to add to this chart?
12.
12. And again, if 12 was your answer, you're going to say, me too. Okay. Any other answers we'd like to add? Okay. So we know how many. It's one of those two answers. Now we have to decide, how did we see them? So think in your mind, what was your strategy? How did you get to either 12 or 17? What was your strategy? All right. Oh, I see lots of hands, lots of volunteers. Can you tell me your name?
Grace.
Grace, how do you spell that?
G.
Uh-huh.
R. A. C. E.
Awesome. This is going to be the Grace strategy. Grace, what was your answer?
17.
Okay, so you said 17. Can you tell me how you got 17?
I counted the dots.
You counted them all? Okay. So did you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, so we're going to write that Grace counted the dots. Okay. How many of you also counted the dots as one of your strategies? Okay. That's the Grace strategy. Grace, thank you so much for sharing your strategy with us. Okay. Who has a different strategy? What is your name, sweetheart?
Jasmine.
Will you spell that for me?
J. A. S. L. E. E. N.
All right, Jaslyn. What was your answer?
17.
So you also had the same answer as Grace. And what was your strategy? How did you see them?
I counted by 4s, and then I counted by 2s, and then the 1s.
Can you tell me where you saw the 4s with your words?
Right.
Can you tell me with your words where you
I
saw the
did
4s?
right there, there's 4.
This
and then,
column of 4?
And then that 4, and then that 4, and then I did those 2,
Uh-huh.
and then those 2, and then that 1.
So you saw this group of 4, this group of 4, and this group of 4? And then you saw this 2.
And this 2,
Okay.
and then that 1.
Okay. And so what did you do with all those numbers once you got there?
I added them up, and then there was 17.
How did you add them? Can you tell me about that?
I did like 4, 8, 12.
So you
and
counted
then
by 4s? Skip counted by?
Yeah.
Okay. So
4,
8, 12.
14.
How'd you get to 14? Whoa, where'd that come
I
from?
meant like the 2s, so I did 14, and then 16.
So how did you get to 14?
I counted those 2s, and then by 16,
So where did you do with the 2s?
I counted by 2s.
So you skip counted some more?
Yeah.
Okay, so 12, 14,
14.
okay.
16. And then I added that 1 and then put 17.
Okay. So this was plus 4, this was plus 4, this was plus 4. Ooh, no, that was plus 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Plus 2 and plus 2. Jasleen, is that your strategy? Okay. How many of you saw it the same way as Jasleen? Okay. All right. Who saw it in a different way? So many strategies. You sit down and share the strategy with me. Can you tell me your name, buddy?
John?
John. All right, John. Let me write your name. Is it John?
Yes, John.
All right. This is the John strategy. First, tell me what was your answer?
My answer was 17.
You also got 17. Okay. So how did you arrive at 17?
First, I counted the 2 5s because the top and the bottom are 5s.
Okay. Did you have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, I saw that they were 5.
You looked at them and you knew. Okay. So you subitized this 5 and this 5.
And then I saw that in the middle, right there, that was 6.
And did you look at it and know it was 6?
Uh-huh. 3 and 3.
Did you see it as 3 and 3 or did you see it as 6?
I saw it as 6, but it's also 3 and 3.
I agree. Okay.
And then I saw the 1.
What did you do with all those numbers?
I added the 5 and the 5 to make 10. Then I added the 6 to the 10. And then I added the 1.
So what was the 10 plus the 6?
The 10 plus the 6 was 16.
Okay.
And then plus the 1 equals 17.
How many of you saw it the same way as John? So now I'm really thinking when I look at Jasleen's strategy and John's strategy, I see a similarity. I see there was a step that was the same in both of their math. Can you find an elbow partner and have a talk? Where do you see something that looks the same? Talk to a partner.
The similarity is the same picture, and just a different way to see it. That's the similarity. Same picture, but different way to see it. But also, it's all the same thing.
I'm going to bring us back together in 3,
That's similar.
2, 1.
plus 1.
Can someone share with me where you saw a similarity between Jaslene's strategy and John's strategy? Right here. What's your name, sir?
Darpreet.
Darpreet. Darpreet, where do you see some similarities in their strategies?
At the end, there's 16 plus 1 equals 17, and
Mhm.
John's is 16.
How many of you also saw the same strategy or the same similarity? Absolutely, absolutely. So as we think about this, I'm thinking we still have two answers here. Does anybody want to change their answer so we can decide on a final answer? Do you want to tell me which answer you think you feel like is correct now?
17.
You feel like 17 is the right answer? Okay. Can we all agree 17 was how many dots there were? Okay.